Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great to see all of you here tonight, particularly you young people, because you're the reason we're here. So thank you all for coming. We'll start with our number 3 item, which is comments from the audience regarding any agenda items. If you would like to address the board, we ask you to state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Would anyone like to address the board on any item this evening? Would anyone care to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move right into our recognitions, which I think is why most of you are here. So we are delighted to display the fabulous work of our students in the boardroom. So I think at this point I'm going to turn it over to Lynn, who's going to introduce all of you, or she's going to take it from here. But I sure appreciate you're all coming tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I'd like to first introduce Kim Richardson. She is our art teacher, new to us this year, and she's going to show off some of the wonderful work that she's been working on with the students tonight. So, Ms. Richardson.
Thank you.
I'm not good at these things. Do I speak into it? Is this on? Okay. I'm going to have all of the students come up here.
That would be great.
And then I'll let them introduce themselves. And they all pulled down their work, I think. If you haven't already gotten it, go ahead and get it. And then I'll have you guys come up here if you just want to make a line. And I have 2 students who have offered to tell you guys what the work's about.
Thank you all
right.
so much.
So you guys just want to step forward and show off your work. Give us your name. Do a little twirl so everyone can see everything. Who would like to start? Lauren?
Sure.
All right.
All right. Hi, I'm Lauren. This was my album cover. And this was my drawing of the transformation.
Tell us a little bit of from what to what, the transformation.
So we had to transform an object into an animal. So Miss Richardson brought a bunch of objects like an iron and like a teapot and cups and glasses and stuff that we use to transform objects into animals.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Nice.
That's great. Thank you.
You guys just want to step forward and just announce your name and show us your work.
Hi, I'm Lillian, and this is my album cover, and this is my pencil transformation drawing. The album covers were basically meant to, you had to first draw a picture of something that represented you, and I picked a paintbrush because I love art, and it was supposed to be like an album cover that you'd see from like songs and on top of records.
Okay. Thank you. Who else? Tell us about your artwork. Go ahead.
I'm Rachel, and this is my album cover.
And what is it?
It's a flower because I really like nature.
Okay. Thank you.
What about an 8th grader?
You can all come up.
Alyssa? How about all the 8th graders step up?
I'm Alyssa,
I'm Kevin.
I'm Olivia.
and we did cartoons of like ourselves and stuff. And these are some of mine.
Oh, very nice. Wow. So you picked scenes that represent you in all of those, or tell me a little more. What? Go ahead.
So what we did was it was basically like a selfie project, and we did like 5 different expressions. So we like drew them as a selfie.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's really great.
Does anybody else want to share? No?
Come on, just left to right, everybody.
Yeah, just come on up and just tell us your
I
name.
don't need to put anyone on the spot, but I'm interested in the one that looks like a seashell, the Nautilus. That one's
Oh, that's
kind of
cool.
cool.
Yeah, and you don't have to come forward. They can just stand right there. Just stand right there and show us your work and tell us your name.
Like a teapot into like a snail, like for the transformation one. And this is my album cover.
That's very nice. Okay, go ahead. Tell us.
Okay. Hi, my name is Barrett, and this is my album cover. It depicts a football because that's the sport I'm most involved in right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Very cool. Does the three in back want to come up?
One on the left.
Or one?
You can go, Sam.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm Sam, and it's a watering can to a flamingo. My album cover is a TV.
That's pretty cool. Yep. All right. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Cassidy, and we made an album cover in art class. I did a paintbrush and canvas because I really like to paint and sketch in my free time. I did a cross-country running shoe because I really like cross-country, and it's just really fun.
Hi, I'm Eli, and I did a transformation drawing of a martini glass to a giraffe.
Oh, wow. That's cool, too. Okay, who else? Did
Are these record album covers?
Yeah, we looked at pop art and the Beatles and had inspiration from them. So
Oh, it's very nice.
Somebody asked Ms. Richardson, the 8th grade cartoons, what medium did you use? What were those?
what do you guys use? What materials?
Oh, colored pencils.
Colored pencil?
And then they outlined them in Sharpie.
Okay.
Cartoon effect.
So what's the next adventure?
The what?
What's the next adventure?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I like being able to see this when I come in here.
I no longer have these guys, so.
Yeah. But you know what, if you come walk around the building sometime, Miss Richardson is always looking for open space, and I kind of give her free rein, and she's done a nice job of keeping our building decorated full of artwork, which is really kind of fun to look at when you're in the hallways.
My current 8th graders are working on animations, so we just started
All
to
right.
get into animation and cartoons.
Thank you for letting your, for putting your work out. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you guys for coming.
Next up on our agenda.
Kim's got a big bag of pop tarts. At least they're not out here to yell at us.
Nice. It's nice to have a warm crowd.
You know what to do, you get kids that can't drive, then their parents have to come.
What kind do you have?
We have a lot of hackers up here, so we're going to move this along. Next up is our consent agenda, 5A, approval of staff retirement. B, approval of Elmbrook 66.03 agreement. C, approval confirmation of technical excellence scholarship recipients. Thank you, Quinn and the policy committee, for helping that move along. D, approval of February vouchers and vouchers payable. And E, approval of January 26, 2015 and February 9th, 2015 school board meeting minutes. Would anyone care to pull any of those items out?
C.
C, okay. Any else? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Well, with the exception of C, right?
With the exception of C, thank you.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, motion carries. Next up, we'll talk about item C, approval confirmation of Technical Excellence Scholarship recipients. Quinn?
Could anybody speak about these two candidates that we have?
Nora was the one who, the guidance counselor, turned us the two in with the two alternates. And other than that, and my computer's not starting for me.
No, mine either.
You want to use one of my tablets? I've got 3.
Oh, we were having trouble the other day, too.
But Quinn, I can get you that information. I absolutely will.
No, and I'd like to thank the administration for getting these candidates on time, and because it's a heck of an opportunity. There's no doubt about it.
We're one of the few districts in the state that got it done on time.
Oh, yeah?
Nice.
And you guys turning on a dime to set up the meeting was very helpful.
I was going to ask if they were present, but no.
I'm good.
I think the door has to be open a little bit. Is it open a little bit?
It was for noise. It's
I
still,
know.
It's not
but
latched.
just open to,
Not latched.
it's open to crack. Okay. Thank you. That's it. All right. Any other discussion of item C?
Just congratulations to the.
Congratulations, absolutely. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve confirmation of technical excellence scholarship recipients.
So moved.
Second? Does someone want a second?
Aye.
It's seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. And next up, we have old business, district goals, number 3 and number 4, progress report. And we are talking about,
Old school, baby.
I said that for you.
see, I opened this in, like in iBooks, so that I don't need the internet to get at it.
Yeah, I do documents. I avoid eyes.
Okay,
Okay, goal number 3, just as a recap, is the Whitnall School District will provide safe and healthy schools to ensure the success of all students and accountability for all stakeholders. By June 2015, the Whitnall School District will have 100% of staff trained on the crisis plan and identify risk exposures. The action steps are effectively partner with groups and organizations within our community to ensure that we provide children with a safe and secure learning environments. And that 2 bullets underneath there, police and fire, and we have the substance abuse program and the scheduled youth risk survey, which preschool. So I have Jackie with me today to talk about, how we're doing on it. We've been drilling, and I want to just talk down the bullet points, so.
Yeah, well, you guys are pretty aware of the active shooter training that happened in August. Each school maintains a log for the drills that are completed, how long it took if you're evacuating the building, those kinds of things. At the high school, we are just about done with an upgrade to the surveillance system, which will take care of some of the cameras that weren't working, as well as provide more high definition.
Yeah, better definition.
One of the things that Matt's in charge of is the kind of maintaining the crisis plan, and we're looking at other ways that we can kind of maintain that information and make it more readily accessible for staff members. So Live Binder is an option that wouldn't cost the district any money, but it would allow us to create some electronic file folders that staff would have access to, and that it would almost appear to be like a website, and you would, select the item that you wanted to look at, and that's where we would document changes rather than, creating a change, making a new sheet of paper, and making sure that that piece of paper is dispersed to all staff members. We're also investigating some apps that would allow, evacuation plans and things like that. In terms of substance abuse awareness, we had the Heroin Summit that we did in conjunction with Greenfield High School as well as the police department in the fall. And in the spring of the year, we will be giving the youth risk survey, which is done by DPI. It's every 2 years. This happens to be one of the years that it's offered. So the guidance counselors on the professional development day spent some time looking at which questions are available, which groups, because you can complete the survey anywhere from middle school or high school. So their task that day was sort of to present a recommendation back to administration about how they felt that the survey would be best used. So then when you get it back, you get data that compares us to the rest of the state, as well as if you continue the cycle every 2 years, you can compare, the Whitnall population. The information up here kind of shows some of the things that we're doing at the high school. So Matt had asked me to bring along our red emergency folder. At the high school, every classroom has a plastic tray located as close to the door as possible. They each have a red folder for their room. Inside there, that's where we have our information about any drills that we would be running. For fire drills, we use a red and green laminated piece of paper so that when they go outside, the teachers, if they're not all clear, they hold up a red. If they are clear, they hold up green. So if you're clearing that section, you can easily see if you have, something that you need to pay attention to. Other information kind of gives them procedures for the fire drills. It also gives them their route for tornado shelter. And then the teachers keep their rosters in there for each one of their classes at the high school. We're getting like all sorts of goofy stuff up there.
Yeah, looks like we're losing our...
So one of the things that you see up there is something we've been partnering with the Greenfield Fire Department to create some additional documents that we think we're in need of at the high school, but I also think that they're transferable to other schools in the district. And we just completed the graph that you see over there. It's sort of a little bit still in rough draft form, but we'll be presenting that to the administrative team so that if other schools, it I think could be pretty easily modified and used district-wide. So what the fire department did was, this really is at times that teachers would need to call 911. So one of the things that, we talked about is, we would rather that somebody made a decision to call 911 than to have something happen that, that we would regret. So this goes through and it goes, they picked out 5 major medical issues that they typically respond to at schools. So they list those across the top. The center, the red, stays the same for each of them. The first step being that they would call 911. The second step, we give them a couple of numbers in the office because we want to be notified right away that a call has been made to 911. We ask them then at that point to start to track some of the medical information that the paramedics are typically going to ask of us when they receive. And the very center part, when they call, they need to be able to give the student name as well as the location. And at the high school, because we have many different entrances, we typically try to alert the dispatcher to which door that they can use so that they can get to the person as quickly as possible. The green then shows just some quick tips for them that will relate specifically to that medical situation so that they can quickly look at it and know, I shouldn't be moving this person, I should be turning them on their side, whatever that they can do to stabilize the situation until the emergency help is there. In addition to that, the fire department created a multi-page document, and what that does is it takes each one of the medical situations and it really expands it. So at the high school, what we're talking to staff about is having this visible, that they can quickly make a reference, make a decision about what they need to do. But then if they need to, in the red folder, they'd be able to go and they'd be able to seek additional information. Based off of this, at our next faculty meeting in March, the fire department is bringing a group of people to meet with the high school staff. That was one of the requests that we had after the August Institute, and they did that medical training piece when the teachers were in the classrooms. And they asked for just more information about that. So they're going to be coming in March to the high school and just kind of showing them some things that they could easily take care of in the classroom before the professionals arrive. With the police department, we have established a student crisis plan that documents the steps that staff members would take should a student be suicidal or homicidal. We have that, so that's one of the steps that we've taken with the police department. And then the other staff training that came out of this is the fire department is willing to do a district CPR training for free over the summer where they could come in on various days and we would be able to have staff CPR trained at no cost.
On the slide back where you talked about having that live binder and having some of the crisis plan documents available, I really think that's fine, except that in some cases, depending upon the type of crisis or what you need, if you don't have access to the internet or a web connection for some of those things, we still may need paper. So I'm just a little concerned that we let the electronic ease of it take over.
We would not eliminate
some of that.
These folders based off of that, but some of the information like the crisis plan, includes documents as to, let's just say that, something happens in the district and, we need to communicate who's going to be a part of that, who are the support people that you would bring in to offer services to students. So the things that the teachers need readily available would still be here, but you would have one place that you would house them and one place that you would go to update them as well.
Other questions?
Yeah, so I was going to, thanks Stephanie, I was going to point that very same thing out. So you're saying non-critical post...
Administrative.
Yeah, so administrative post-action or after-action type stuff would be, I imagine, in a secured place because you don't necessarily want all your plans out there, but the critical action stuff would be in that. I would suggest that since some of our critical action processes require staying clear of doors and windows and things like that, that we might think about putting that binder somewhere other than as close to the door as possible. Just as a thought. So, you can grab it on the way out. What you're required to do is go out like in a fire drill, but if you're required to, in some shooter type situation, you might not, what if you close the door and then forget to grab the binder? Now you got to go back to the door to get it. So just a thought. I don't know. And is the fire department going to include the other schools at all in their thing? Do we know, or is it just the high school that they're faculty they're meeting with?
With the goal being 100% of the staff trained, we're going to have ready sheets like what we're showing here, rolled out across the district.
And every school has something in place currently, so it's not that these things don't exist, it's just looking at improving what we're doing and updating the information. I think that these emergency guidelines in terms of the medical are much more detailed than anything that we would have previously, at least at the high school, previously offered. I think 2 of the schools use flip charts where they have different categories. And the work we're doing with the police and fire, we sort of initiated it on behalf of bringing it back to the admin to say, here's some ideas that we've been talking about. We had just received the 1-pager last week right before the admin team meeting, so we didn't share it last week, but we will on Thursday.
Is there any chance we can get these slides? I can't see that very well.
Yeah.
I'd like to have the stuff ahead of time if possible. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm sorry.
I don't, but it's on, and I can't remember because I went into the WSAB convention, and it's online with what John is speaking of. And I went to the one safety workshop, and it was about Sandy Hook. And all the information was in the secretary's or receptionist area, and she ducked, rightfully so, And I can't remember them saying there needs to be either information or processes available down the line of the hallway. in other places, because, yeah, someone's blowing in the window, I'm ducking first, instead of pushing a button or whatever. And I wish I remembered, but it's online with what you're saying, that it doesn't need to be it shouldn't be concentrated in one area, the safety information, or ways of pulling an alarm or whatnot. It needs to be other than right at the front entrance.
Well, one of the great things about our upgrade to the phone system is that, we now, an administrator could be completely out of the building and, call into the building and do a lockdown or whatever you needed to do. So that's very accessible, and that's part of, the electronic part of it is if you have things in multiple places, if you have things that are printed as well as electronically, people have their laptops or iPads in different places, you'd be able to access that information.
I can't help but think of phone these days.
Yeah, phone.
We always have a phone with us, so moving towards an app that's really easy for all of our staffers to have, That's the easiest these days.
Yeah, and from speed standpoint, this is the quickest, or a flip chart,
So why do some schools have flip charts and others don't?
No, what I'm saying is that a telephone,
Yeah.
reaching in your pocket, maybe the fingerprint's not working, grabbing a ready reference material like this, whether it's a flip chart or a folder, is gonna be a quicker.
I agree. You don't have to,
That's, yeah.
no problems getting online tonight, Dr. Holtz, right? So,
Just to be clear, right now, we're looking at the online component administratively, so it makes it easier for us to change phone numbers. If there's a form letter, home to parents that is rewritten, it can get, uploaded into that. Right now, we're using Google Docs for that, and it's a little clunky, so.
I would just recommend having that in an easily accessible but not vulnerable location, if that makes any sense.
The classroom that I took this folder out of, you have to go around the corner to get out.
I understand. I'm just going by what you said, closest to the door is all I was coming in. But
By the
thanks.
door, by the telephone.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you. Does Hales Corners get involved? Is their fire department involved at all? That was one of my questions. Is Hales Corners Fire Department involved at all in any of this? I see Greenfield, but are they doing anything?
We're working with Greenfields. The reason that we contacted them was we didn't feel that as educators that we had the best information in order to make medical recommendations, and so that's why we sought them out, and we sought them out because the high school is located in Greenfield.
In Greenfield, okay. Just wondered.
Our resource officer could help
Okay.
us make
Okay.
connections.
Thank you.
I don't think Hales Corners would object, certainly.
Oh,
to-
no. That wasn't what I was thinking, but in some cases, they may be closer to us, Hales Corners is what I was thinking.
Well, I'm sure
In
there's
terms of
probably
a
mutual
crisis.
support agreements and stuff as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, next up, we have goal number 4.
Right. As we roll into it, I just wanted one more thing on 3. I'm very impressed with the principals, the teachers who said, yeah, let's do the extra training, and they're interested in the CPR, but everybody's constantly trying to improve, whether it's board members bringing things back, and talking about locking doors and keeping them open, but having them locked, all those types of things. Every little bit, trying to make it just a little bit better, and our administrators are very proactive. I mean, you always have parents, you always have kids, you always have administrative things that the superintendent asks you to do, but they always find time to stay on top of the cutting edge stuff when it comes to security, which is very impressive. And then as far as goal 4 goes, Dave and I are gonna do that. As Dave walks up, I'm gonna start, because goal 4 is really all about when we came together on a decision on the referendum and put it together and have now presented it to the public. We did our survey to gather the public information, and that was part of the collaboration along with the different community meetings we had throughout the year, and now moving forward as we head towards the referendum in April. And we did approve a plan that addressed the deferred maintenance and upgrade of the Whitnall school districts, and we did that way before June 30th, 2015. So now it's in the hands of the voters and us to get the information to our voters to see if they're going to agree with the proposed solutions that we have in front of them. David, you want to take it now on, or you want us,
No,
they're
is
kind
there
of
more,
married together.
I mean, backing up though on that particular plan, which isn't really David's thing, it's our thing. I don't feel like we've achieved that yet. We still have facility issues that are not addressed in the referendum, and those are not addressed yet. Not that we can have that discussion until after the referendum, but we still need to have projects that we need to have a plan for by the end of this year. So it says all, and I just want to hold our own feet to the fire on that.
Yeah, that's a
It
good,
says
that's a
all
good
Whitnall
point.
School District facilities, we should have a plan. It doesn't mean they're going to get done this year, but it would be nice to know what year.
That's right, and that's
That's all
very
I'm
good.
saying.
And there is a plan A and a plan B. A is when the referendum passes, and B
Right.
is if we need to step it out a little bit more.
Right.
And
Go
our,
ahead.
our facilities committee has been staying on top of it rather well, and talking, matter of fact, the last time we talked about the steps outside of the middle school, and when Matt has those scheduled to be completed, and the scheduling for the Edgerton Elementary parking lot.
Okay, John?
I was gonna say, I know some of the stuff on the one referendum question incorporates some things off of the three-year plan, but other stuff on the three-year plan that the committee and Matt came up with are not on that referendum. So it seems to me like, you know, we have a more immediate plan, being the referendum, to take care of some of those items. But in general, many of the items are still covered by the three-year plan. So it seems to me like, and I think Matt's got plans to go beyond 3 years, but the thing he had been requested to present to the Facilities Finance Committee, correct me if I'm wrong, is a three-year plan that we've been keeping the eye on. So I'm comfortable with how our status looks on goal 4.
We're not quite there yet.
No.
I think for the purposes of meeting that goal and keeping the board and the district on track, I think we need to have just a little bit more of structure around some of those items that are not part of the referendum. And on that longer term, and coming up and just putting a little more structure and timeline around it. Not that if we can't do everything that, you know, we're like, okay, we failed, no. But just putting a little more structure around it so we can keep track of it a little bit better, so that we see the progress that we make, and then we keep it as part of the conversation. We don't lose sight of it, and we don't end up in deferred maintenance again. So that's hopefully some of the things that we can bring up in finance in the next couple of months, because we can do that whether the referendum passes or not. We can still have and should have those conversations.
Such as the weight room. I don't know that there's anything in the plan for the weight room.
That's not deferred maintenance or anything like that, but that's,
Right.
that's facility stuff, but it's
Right.
not, you know.
This says deferred maintenance and upgrade, John, in the goal, so it would include the weight room as well. But I get what you're saying, that we need both.
Right, so we will
need both.
We will continue
Right.
To address
stay
both.
on that in
Right.
finance.
I think the other thing too we need to be conscious of is if they're bringing us proposals to do the maintenance and we're telling them, no, we don't want to proceed with it, we're kind of stymieing ourselves and them from getting the work done. If we're telling them, give us a list and tell us which are high priorities, they do that, we tell them, well, we don't think that's a high priority, take it off the list. I think we're, I don't know, shooting them in the foot and shooting ourselves in the foot too.
Well, it's a tough call. Sometimes when we only have so much
Well,
money.
Because we have more concerns than just
Right.
the items that we ask, for
Exactly,
example,
our
Matt to
budgets.
rack and stack. So
Right.
we have to incorporate his
Yeah.
racking and stacking with the racking and stacking of the other departments in the district.
But it would, you go with it. Get us a better timeline there. And
Well,
arms wrapped around it a little bit better.
As soon as we're all completely back on our feet, we will be running forward, trust me.
We are all hacking away up here? Okay.
Okay, maybe not running, but.
Any other discussion on this goal? And I'm sorry, did you have something else you wanted?
Sitting so far
just-
back.
We're good?
We'll list it all.
We're good. So that's it on the goal. We'll move to just a referendum update. Go ahead. You want to give us an update, and then maybe we can share what some
I have some
of our
questions.
experiences are? Yeah.
I'm just going to run through a list of some of the communication efforts that have been made since the last time we spoke 2 weeks ago. The viewpoint went out last week to all residents, had a lot of referendum information, 4 plus pages worth. That it's available online too, so if someone didn't get it, they can access it online. The boards have been distributed to all the libraries, the Franklin, Hales Corners, and Greenfield libraries. There's one at Greenfield City Hall. There's boards at every school. And we had one board returned to us that I had to pick up for various reasons. That'd be the Hales Corners Village Hall. It wouldn't allow us to put it up or put out our fact sheets. So that's in my trunk. It's in my trunk. If anyone needs another one for any other location, we can put it up anywhere you want. We made some more additions to the website. I don't know if you've been following it, but we've added a whole section of frequently asked questions where you can get a hard copy of that, or you can download a hard copy of that. We're still adding questions as we get them, so it's going to keep updating. And like I mentioned before, if you guys are getting any frequently asked questions, please pass them my way, and we can get the answer for you and add it to the FAQ site. The tax calculator was added. It doesn't look as nice as I thought it would. But that's because there's a coding problem. So it's available. You can download it, and then you can type in your the value of your home, and find out an estimated tax. But it's not as convenient to use as I had hoped. We've added some photos per the board's request, and we added the enrollment study that we just had completed recently as well. So all that is all within the referendum website. Dr. Holtz and I have gone to all 4 schools and have done completed the do's and don'ts discussion with staff. I'm going back to Hales Corners Elementary on Friday to do another one with some of their aides and non-teaching staff. We started the open door session Thursday. They start over at HCE Wednesday afternoon, and then they continue through the length of the referendum process. Luann and I have been talking about additional night events. And is it too early for me to mention those? Okay.
We don't have them etched in stone yet.
Right, so we're talking about adding an hour. So first of all, in the 2 March meetings, we're talking about holding one here as usual, and the other one, the one later in March at HCE. These are school board meetings, that is. And we'd have an hour worth of tours prior to each one, so from 5:30 to 6:30 here, and then we'd have the meeting, 5:30 to 6:30 at Hales Corners Elementary, have the meeting there. On March 2nd, next Monday, a week from today, we're doing an information night for just for the immediate neighbors at Hales Corners Elementary. I'm going to be handing out, or I'm hoping I get a couple volunteers to help me distribute flyers door to door, a little invite that invites the immediate neighbors who might have some questions that not everyone else would have, or concerns like traffic flow, or what's it going to look like if I look outside my window 3 years from now, that sort of thing. Is there still going to be parking in the throughout the streets? Some of those answers. JP Cullen will be there. Epstein and Architects will be there. Myself. I think Quinn already asked to sign up for that. Anyone else is welcome to come.
And what night is that, David?
What's it?
What day is it?
It's next Monday, 6:30 to 7:30, a week from today.
I will be there.
I'll be there too.
And like I said, that's for the immediate neighborhood. I mean, you can tell anybody you'd like, obviously, but we're going to be distributing, I think I have about 60 flyers, so the 60 houses closest to HCE, just to...
You got 2 volunteers.
Yeah, whomever.
So we'll write those down. Maybe we can write that down.
To come to the event? Okay.
Meeting.
And then after the information nights in March, we're going to look and see if we need any additional nighttime tours or anything like that. So we're going to wait till, and I know there's been some question about that. And the reason why we've only scheduled one night thing so far is to get, those information nights are really the biggest nights that we can have, because we have FCNU in there, we have JP Cullen there, we have administrators, we have board members, we have everyone there to answer any questions that anyone might have. Those nights are set up where we have different stations throughout the facilities. The people are kind of led through the areas. They get to see some of the facility issues that we have. They get to ask questions of the architect, ask questions of the construction management firm, ask questions of the board, administration, whomever they want. The reason why we haven't scheduled much more in the evening prior to that is because we really would like people to go to those events if they're able to. And if we dilute that a little bit with more events prior to that, and they just go to a tour at night where they might not be able to talk to an architect or talk to the construction management firm, they're not going to get all the information that they could have. So we want them to go to those meetings first, if they're able to, and get as much information as they can. If we find that we still need to add more additional evening events, we can always add tours later in March after the 10th and 12th, the information nights.
Don't forget that any one of us, if we have a constituent that wants to tour, or if anyone in the audience or watching this video wants to tour, they can call that school.
Right,
This
absolutely.
doesn't- They don't have to have an official, event or time. Our doors are open, they just have to call ahead, because they aren't really open, they're locked. But we would schedule a tour.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
let you come in, let anyone come in that wants to. And if we
we
want to bring
have,
people
we have
in-
administrators, we have board members, anyone, we have a lot of people who are able to and willing to give those tours as needed. So
We need to-
please share that with anyone who questions whether or not they can, or says they can't get to an event, and we haven't scheduled anything that they can get to yet. We can accommodate them as needed.
Okay.
The videos that we had talked about were shot last week, and they should be, they're in production now, and they should be available within a week or so. A lot of people helped out, a lot of different people were part of those videos, and I know Lori spent a lot of time with me on Thursday, and we're taking a little break for a while. But she did a great job, and once you see the videos, you'll see how well those turned out. The special newsletter that we had talked about, that's near completion, is actually probably going to go to the printer tomorrow. It's got a lot of similar information that we've already put out, but it has a little bit more emphasis on what's on the ballot, so people get familiar with that language. It has more emphasis on the actual voting process and how they can vote early and vote absentee because of April 7th being in the middle of spring break, so there's a little bit more emphasis on that. It's a smaller newsletter. It's just like a trifold. It's not a big 8-page type thing, but it's loaded with information, and that one should be, I think that gets to people's houses on or around the 9th of March.
And that's gonna have specific information, not a phone number to call. Specific information, how to.
It's got specific
early or
links.
absentee.
Yep. Most of it you have to download online. You have to download the forms online, so it actually has the links to get those absentee, to download that form, yeah.
And it'll have the correct information for each of the 3 cities to how to early vote?
Yes, I have to look at it again precisely, but again, a lot of it is, you have to download the form you have to fill out a form to, like the absentee, you have to download a form, so we can't provide that form to anybody. They have to go to
What about
Lincoln.
is the information for early?
Early voting. They just
I'll have to
show
look
up.
at it again. I'm pretty sure it's, I don't know, I've looked at it.
'Cause I just sent out an email to about, I copied you about 50
got
or
it.
75 on my email list. And 2 came back already, 2 people emailed me right back and said, asking me about the information for spring break because they are gonna be gone.
Sure.
So I think it's very imperative that we get, not a phone number, we give them the information. Here's where you
Right.
go, this is what you do, exactly the way it is. Because if we want a lot of parents to vote, and it's right during spring break, we have to make it as easy and accessible, and we have to put out there,
And
not
as-
with phone numbers of the municipalities, but the actual information.
And as I mentioned at the previous meeting, when we started outlining this plan, the third and final posting, or the third and final mailing, the postcard is all dedicated to voting information. So if it's not in this one yet, there's still a third one that's dedicated directly to absentee voting early.
Okay, I would really drive that point home.
Right, it's March 23rd already, early voting.
Right.
In one of the municipalities. Are they all the same now? March 23rd? That's coming up fast.
Right, and so we have a mailing that comes out on the 9th, and then the last mailing comes out the week of the 23rd.
And I think it's March 23rd through April 2nd or something like
It'd be
that.
the week prior.
And so
Right.
that is coming up fast for early voting.
Right.
Absentee voting might begin sooner.
No, absentee voting begins,
When is that?
I'd have to look, I don't remember all the dates off the top of my head.
Okay.
But all that information is gonna be on that.
Well, that's on our website as well, some of it.
Right, all the information for absentee
That's
voting.
already on
But
our
we need to
website.
get it in people's hands.
Yeah, well, and while you're
opinion.
mentioning it, when we're handing out, that information will be nice to have, because when we were at the middle school the other night handing stuff out, we were saying, Nancy was good at pointing out, wanted me to remind you all, when you're handing it out, say, don't forget that is spring break. So we point to that date and say, if you're gonna be out of town, you're gonna have to vote early. So it's good to point that out right now when we're handing out the flyers.
Right.
Just saying that was something I was not doing prior to.
Sure.
To last week, so. Okay.
As I mentioned, the postcard, we'll be starting the production process of that one soon. The events calendar's been updated. I think there's been a few things added by, not by me. I think maybe you might have added a few events.
Things coming up, yeah.
That's,
Thank you for that. That update you give us weekly is, I know it's helping me. I can find it easy and look at what's coming up. That's been really helpful.
I think that's it. I think that's where we're at from
I have
since 2 weeks.
I have a question.
Yes.
These open door meetings, or whatever you're calling them.
Sessions.
With the timeframes, what demographic are we trying to reach here?
Well, there's a lot of different demographics we can reach from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Is a lot of people who either don't work or go to work early or want to come in before they drop their kids off at school or before it's the breakfast crowd. I mean, there's a lot of people who go out for breakfast. So so that's that group. And the 4 to 5 are the people who are picking up their kids, or they have some events, or they have to get their kids from school and take them to an event, and then they have some time free, so they come to the school from 4 to 5.
Well,
I don't know what the question.
Well, my opinion is you missed it on both of those times, because if you're looking for parents, and maybe residents is different that aren't working, but even residents that don't have kids are going to work at that time. Parents are trying to get their kids to school and then get to work. So I don't know how that 6:30 a.m. to 8 works. And the 4 to 5, school gets out at what time?
3:15.
3:35. So they pick up their kids. They ain't coming back. In my opinion, we will see. But I think we need to tweak those times. I'm not sure.
Well, the other thing, I think
find it
it's,
hard.
you don't have to be there the whole hour and a half, just maybe people see 6:30 and think they have to be here by 6:30. But they don't, right? I mean, they can come anytime between 6:30 and 8. It's an informal session.
Yeah, I mean, I took it as if someone walks in the door at 1 minute to 5 or even at 5, I mean, I'm still touring them and talking to them. It's not like, oh, so bad.
Yeah, but something for right after school is what we were thinking might be more convenient for parents than having to wait a half an hour. But actually, the truth is, you'd probably take care of them if they.
Of course you would. I'm just saying that
Not
if they're
advertised.
picking the kids up at 3:35, I don't see them coming back.
The problem, I don't know what kind of problems it would create to having people trying to come in.
I know,
at
it's
3:30
at
while
3:30.
people-
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
There's no place to park.
There's no place to park at 3:30. You had to wait.
So I guess I'm not sure what your suggestion is. If 3:30 doesn't work, but 4 o'clock's too late,
Well,
then I'm not sure what you're.
no, I guess by you clarifying why you're having so few as of right now, night sessions, because you want to try and funnel them to those two.
Right.
Then I guess, then you're making you're making that work. But I still don't see, I don't see people coming.
Well, we'll see.
Well, and that might be the case, but we're giving people the opportunity. I mean, it's better than not having anything, and then they say, well, you didn't give us an
Well, as
opportunity.
is the tours that are right in the middle of the day as well.
Well, the tours are set up during the day so that people can see how our school operates with the facilities that we have. And that's part of the reason why. So if we have if someone went and toured HC right now, they would not even get an idea of what it's like during the day. So that's why we have the tours during the day, and that's why they're set up that way, so that they can see the kids working in the hallways and being, testing and by an elevator, like a little cutout by an elevator, or all the clutter and stuff, or see kids, with their sweatshirts piled on in some of the high school rooms because it's too cold, or sweating because the heat isn't working right. So that's the idea behind having the tours during the day. You don't get the picture otherwise.
All right. A lot of work goes into this. Thanks to everyone. I know all of you are involved in more time. All of you are. And effort as we get through the next, 6 weeks, is it? So thank you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Lowell. Do you have anything to add?
No, but I'm sure we're going to add some more evening opportunities, but like Dave said, we want to wait till after those other two are finished, and then we'll hear from you guys what you think the best dates are.
All right. Thank you to all my colleagues. I know we're all putting in a little more time on this. Okay, that's it. Next up, comments from the school board regarding agenda items for future consideration. Hearing none, we'll move to board member announcements. Does anyone have announcements? I know we've had some winners, some like Eagle Scout stuff on our Facebook, so if you haven't been to Facebook today, there's always a couple of things that I think Dave's been posting, so I don't recall
Four
names.
wrestlers made it.
They're going to state.
Made it to state.
And Quinn, you're hard on
Way to
equipment.
go, Quinn.
Good job.
I don't know what I did.
There's a trap door on the front of the table.
Just fell. It's a sign. We need to get out of here.
Do we have a new,
I'm sorry, 4 wrestlers made it to state?
Yep, 4 wrestlers made it to state,
That's right.
which starts on Thursday, so congratulations to them.
And how did our swimmers do? Did anyone hear? They were at state last weekend.
Well, and I don't, when I asked on Saturday at sectionals, I didn't hear any final stats. I don't think anyone placed.
Okay. All right. Nice to always have some goal. That's really great. All right. Any other announcements? Just a
The play.
reminder, the play is coming up, right?
Musical.
Uh-huh. So if you haven't bought your tickets,
Buy them online. There will be some available at the door, but online sales are encouraged. Once Upon This Island is the musical.
and the
It's
dates are March
20th,
Sooner than that.
21st, and 22nd.
Okay.
And of course, there's also the senior banquet as well.
Okay.
Cast and crew are preparing nightly, and they're working hard getting everything together.
I can't wait. Can't
It'll be
wait.
exciting.
The tickets went on sale this morning.
All right.
The senior citizen show on the 18th. And we've
Okay.
already sold 150 tickets.
150 tickets for the seniors. All right.
What's the deal this year? How much is a
They're-
show and a meal?
They're getting $6. They get a fish fry in the show.
Killing them,
so
you're killing them.
The best deal in town.
The best deal in town. I love bringing
Fish
people
fry
in
here, huh?
too.
Oh, yeah.
We're so proud of our kids and our staff. They do such a great job. All right, no other announcements. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No?
is it a new administrator
Motion
back there
carries.
next to Lynn?
Yeah.
Administrator in training.
Responsible for that one, Joel?
That's pretty sweet.
Nice job.
I'll
Get him in
be
early.
serving people who are younger than I am.
Hey, young fella.
Jonathan.